And a very good afternoon, everyone. And we are so sorry for the delay in starting this webinar. We had some technical problems and hoping to get those fixed as soon as possible. So thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Sandy Elson, and on behalf of the travel professional community and homebasedtravelagent.com, I want to welcome all of you and thank you so much for being with us, taking time out of your busy day, and for your patience. We're very happy to welcome as our host today, Avoya Travel. We really appreciate the support all of us get from Avoya and thank them very much for that. Our speaker is Scott Koepp, CTC, MCC. With more than 25 years in retail travel, Scott is the Senior Vice President of Sales for Avoya Travel, one of the largest and most awarded travel partners in North America and beyond. Today's topic is voted Best Host Agency by Travel Professionals, Avoya Travel. Find out why. Before we get started, please remember that you are all muted, but we welcome your questions. You can type in your questions at any time in the question area on the right-hand panel of your screen. At the end of the presentation, we will get to as many questions as we can. And we will here as soon as we can do that. Also today, as a special thank you to everyone for attending the entire webinar, each attendee will be able to download a complimentary copy of Tom and Joni Ogg's amazing ebook, 365 Marketing Strategies for Travel Agents. We will post a link for you to write down a little at the end of the webinar where you can go to get the book. This link will be active for only 48 hours from the end of the webinar, so be sure to download your ebook in the next 48 hours. And again, I'll let you know when that link is available and where you can find it. And we really do thank Tom and Joni Ogg so much for their generosity. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to Scott so he can get started. Welcome back, Scott.
Well, thank you, Sandy. Yeah, it's great to be on the call. I've got a little bit of an echo on my side. I'm not sure you have it on your side.
Yeah, we do hear an echo.
Maybe it's muted on your side, or make sure you're muted.
Yeah, just muted.
Excuse me, just 1 second. We're trying to get rid of this echo.
Okay.
I think you're on. Go to
And we thank all of our attendees for your patience today while we try to work through some of these technical issues.
It's right there.
But I promise this webinar will be worth waiting for, so stick around.
Go to telephone.
Okay, we're back, and I think that solved the problem.
That's perfect. Yep, that's perfect, Scott. Go ahead.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry for some of our technical challenges here. Now it's going to call into question every time that I say that we have the most amazing technological firm and technology opportunities in the industry. But we're human, too, so we're making some mistakes on our side, but we're going to get the PowerPoint up real quick, and again, apologize for the echo there. But welcome to all of you, and thank you all so much for joining us for a little bit of time this afternoon as we talk about Avoya Travel. And again, as the title said, we're certainly here to point out what makes Avoya Travel different and hopefully answer all of your questions. And so we'll do that by going through a presentation, and again, as soon as we get the PowerPoint up, it'll catch up to me and we'll be ready to roll there. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and continue with just giving you kind of an audio overview, and we'll start right in and talk about what exactly Avoya Travel is. And of course, from a pure definition standpoint, you would define us from an agency perspective as a host travel agency. And of course, most of you, I'm sure, know what that means, but basically means that the sales from the company are done via our independent contractors and our independent affiliates that are affiliated with Avoya Travel. Now, I like to say that the term that Avoya Travel is, as there are a few others in the industry, is that we are actually pure host travel agencies. And what that means is that 100% of our sales come through folks just like you. We don't have an internal sales team. We don't have a number of brick and mortar offices that compete against you. All of our sales are done by our independent agencies. And so that makes us a pure host agency. And there are certainly a number of host agencies out in the marketplace today, and it is a little overwhelming and confusing to figure out well, which one's better? Because if you listen to all these various presentations, you're going to think, well, they all sound pretty darn good. They've got good folks that are saying wonderful things, and they provide good community, and they provide great commission levels, and all these other things. And I'm going to say, for the most part, certainly the ones that are with this particular organization and have been vetted by Joni and Tom, I think the reality is they're all good, and I don't think any of us would say that we're a one-size-fits-all, but there is certainly some significant differences between all the host agencies that exist out there. And so I'll make two broad statements before we talk about Avoya. Number one is that unless you are doing probably $3 to $5 million on your own, and all of that business between maybe one or two suppliers, you should be hosted. You should be working with a host travel agency. If it's not Avoya, then again, make that right choice and join the right one. But I think, again, the financial benefits to you, the benefits to your ability to basically maximize your income and maximize the benefits of being in the travel industry really are going to be exacerbated based on the fact of having a host travel agency. And I think that's going to be the first and foremost decision that I would recommend to pretty much all of you. And then when it comes to making a decision, do your homework. And you know, as much as I'd like to tell you that you can trust me, and I think you can trust me, and I've been in the industry over 30 years, and I've owned 2 agencies and been around the retail world for a long time, but you need to feel 100% comfortable with the organization that you're going to go with. And my suggestion is you try to pick someone that's going to be a long-term player for you and is really in a long-term relationship. So do the homework, ask the questions, ask the hard questions, and then make sure that you also talk to a few of the affiliates of the host and see if they're happy and if they like what they are experiencing with this host agency. Well, that being said, let's talk about why Avoya might be one of those choices. Well, first of all, as a company, we are again, over 50 years old. We celebrated our 50th anniversary last year and started as a tour operator in Hawaii and have been moving along into the retail world by going through brick and mortar agencies. And now, again, we've morphed ourselves into one of the largest, if not the largest, leisure host travel agency in the world. And again, we have received a number of awards, Travel Agency of the Year awards from a number of our suppliers. And we're excited about our continued growth. And, of course, we basically live on the shared success model. And the shared success model meaning that if you don't sell something, that means we're not doing well. So it's because we're a pure host, we're basically in a partnership with you that is extremely important, and we do everything we can to help you become successful. Well, that, of course, leads to our reputation, and our reputation is one that is very important for you to understand, and also to look at the reputation of any host agency that you work with. And, of course, again, if you have some contacts within the industry on the supplier side, I would certainly ask them what they think, and I would ask them, again, at the executive levels, what they think of the companies and what their long-term future looks like. And we live by the tagline of integrity and professionalism. And again, what we are looking for, and here maybe is another thing to look at when you're talking about host travel agencies, is one of the questions to ask any host travel agency is, who do you not accept? And that might sound a little contrary, and always reminds me of, I think it was Groucho Marx who said, if this club would accept me, I don't want to belong. But I think the truth of the matter is that you need to look for an organization that is selective and that does not make the claim that they're for everyone. We are not a fee-based model, and what I mean by that is that we do not take everyone that comes in and just joins and pays a monthly fee. We're looking for folks that are committed to their business, they're committed to this industry, and really want to excel with this business. So I'll say it this way. Who do we say no to? We say no to hobbyists, people who basically just, a couple of tours a year or resorts a year, that makes a good year for them. We're probably not the right fit for you. If you really want to grow your business, you're serious about your business, it's a business that you want to learn more about and constantly, again, improve, and you want to earn a substantial income, then we are the right place for you. So we've established a worldwide brand that has tremendous advantages, including the fact that we belong to American Express, and American Express has a stellar reputation to the consumer. And obviously, we make sure that we take advantage of that. And again, for a lot of reasons, you want to hook yourself up with a host agency that's going to help you build your own reputation and build your business. And so, again, it's an important piece certainly to look at. And the part of professionalism certainly is one that we take very, very seriously. And if you're looking for an opportunity to really earn income, then we are the right place for you. All right, so as Edie even says, and Edie, the newer, I should say, President and Chief Operating Officer of Crystal Cruises, said, you don't stay in business for over 50 years without a stellar reputation. And again, we work very hard to make sure our relationships with all of our suppliers are extremely strong. And again, as you can see, we've won these Partner of the Year awards from a number of our cruise line partners and tour operator partners, for that matter. And again, continue to grow and provide, and in many cases are the #1 retailer in the world for some of these suppliers. So we're very proud of the fact that we continue to grow, and again, all of those sales being made by independent affiliated agencies with Avoya Travel. We also have won a number of awards in the media, and again, that's for our innovation and our technology, and again, in many cases, we've had a number of agents listed in the top 25 agents of the year, and more, about 4 times more than any other host agency in terms of the productivity and the success of the agencies that have been affiliated with Avoya Travel. So again, tremendous number of awards. We're in the Hall of Fame with CLIA, as Brad and Van Anderson, the owners of our company, have created a very unique system with us. Now, at this point, you might be saying, well, it sounds like, again, you've got a lot of awards. You've obviously, Avoya is a very large company doing tremendously well in the cruise and tour and resort business, but it still sounds like you're just a good host agency. Well, let me explain a couple of things that really make us different, and that is to start with our Avoya Live Leads program. And I'm going to come back and talk about this a little bit more, but the Live Leads program is really what sets us apart. Every other host travel agency, and I'll say even every other consortia, has tremendous marketing programs. They've got a lot of marketing opportunities that you can sign up for, that you can be a part of. And in most cases, that means you sign up for a direct mail program or an email program. And then there's 2 caveats that are attached to all those programs. Number 1 is you need to provide the list of the customers that they are going to be marketing to, or they might offer you to purchase a list, but as you know, most purchase lists are not that high a quality, and certainly those people don't know you from anything. So there's a lot of emphasis on the fact that you've already had to establish a large client base, which you may or may not have. But the second part is that then you have to pay for that. So you've got to pay for those direct mail programs, you've got to pay for those email programs, et cetera. And at that point, of course, again, the hope is that whatever is being marketed or mailed is going to make your phone ring, and hopefully one of those people will react back and purchase from you. Well, our model is significantly different in that Avoya Travel is actually a consumer brand. It is a brand that is known by the consumer. We are one of the largest online travel agencies from the standpoint that we compete against the Expedias and the Travelocities and the Orbitses and all the other companies that are out there that compete online, and the ones that you've probably heard of and maybe even shaken your fist at that seem to be pervasive in the mind of the consumer. And that, of course, is because that over 70% of all travel transactions now start with research online. And that is a fact that has been growing every year. And again, I'm sure most of you would agree with it, that that's where the consumer is starting to get their ideas. That's where they start their shopping excursion. And so to play in that arena is extremely expensive, and it's very difficult to make noise there. Actually, the last time that I asked someone to look up the word cruise on Google and find exactly how many listings there were, I think it was over 70 million various websites that had the word cruise. Now, we could take maybe 10 million of those off for Tom Cruise, but the rest of them are your competitors. And you can imagine how difficult it is to become one of the leaders by getting the consumer's attention there. Well, we're already doing that for you. We're spending millions and millions of dollars every year to drive consumers to the Avoya website. But the real differentiator is you. And what I mean by that is when you look at all of our major competitors, again, the Expedias, the Vacations to Go, and other major companies, what they have is call centers, and they use call centers. The majority of their business, if not done electronically, is done in a call center, and it's a quick transaction type of environment. Our process is that we give them all the best information we can on our site, all the information about the various products, but then the entire concept and the entire website is built to connect them with you, to connect them with an expert in a certain brand. And that's the beauty of our system, is that it is based on specialization. And so we don't expect you or any of the agencies affiliated with us to know everything about everything. And that can be a dangerous thing to try to do in our industry in terms of making real money. And just like any other professional industry, as you specialize more, you tend to make more money. And so we have that same opportunity within Avoya by choosing brands that you are passionate about, that you have real strong knowledge in, and really focusing on those brands. Then we provide the leads for those brands and give you the opportunity to claim those leads and to work those leads around those specific brands. So it's a very unique process that we have. Our lead generation program is a patent pending program, and it is designed, again, to really replace the amount of time and energy that you're spending today trying to figure out how to get the phone to ring. The amount of money that maybe you're spending for various ideas or marketing programs and still not getting the kind of return that you want and the kinds of dollars you want to get that phone to ring and to turn into sales. So really, by handing off that marketing to Avoya Travel, it allows you to focus on what you do best, and that is being a wonderful travel agent and a great salesperson and building those customer relationships. Well, of course, as I mentioned before, we have American Express as one of the benefits that we have, and certainly that helps in terms of the consumer recognition and credibility. As I mentioned earlier, we've got the award-winning marketing. Our technology is extraordinary in as much as we have a program called Agent Power, and not only does it provide a booking engine for many of the major cruise lines that we sell today, but it also is a full CRM system, an accounting tracking system. All of our promotions, everything else is is right in one place for you to look at. And the real beauty is, of course, it is a complete system for our lead generation program that offers you the leads in your specialty and allows you to claim those leads and begin to work those leads when and where and how you want to as you own your own business and take those leads. Of course, we've got a live support program that we've got a number of folks. Actually, we have over 150 employees for Avoya Travel, and not one of those employees sells travel. And again, that's really an important comment when you think about it. And with over 750 independent affiliates, which is approximately what we have at this point, you can see that our support to numbers that we have of independent agencies is extremely high. And if you compare that, again, almost any other host agency, you'll find that we have a tremendous number of support people, marketing people, et cetera, that are there. And again, they're working on your behalf because of the fact that we have this shared success model. We also launched just recently our new Avoya University, and this is an exciting new approach to online training where we're using an ability for you to do all of the educational programs at your own pace, and that are both video as well as webinar style type of educational programs. I'll get into that more in just a second. And of course, the community that we have. And again, all host agencies will probably say they have a great community. But as I mentioned, when we're very serious about our business, is the community you're joining here are people who are really, truly serious about their business, and they run businesses, and they help each other. There is a tremendous networking that goes on. We're actually 1 week away from our conference, or even less so, I should say. It's next week, and it happens to be here in San Diego this year. Last year, it was on a celebrity cruise ship, and years before, it's on cruise ships or on land. We switch it back and forth each year. And each year we have a huge gathering of our independent affiliates for a wonderful meeting where, again, they can network, help each other, learn from our suppliers, and certainly interact with Avoya staff. And it is really a great part, an extension of our community. But again, because we are very selective and we actually take less people who apply, we take, I should say, only one of about 10 who apply to us, is because, again, we're looking for folks who are really serious about their business. And so you can imagine the community we have is very strong because these folks are very serious about what they do. Well, as I mentioned, we have the new Avoya University, and this again is an interactive online university. It's available 24/7. Plus, we offer one-on-one live tutorials as well as group sessions available from our professors, as well as self-assessments. And again, the program duration, you can actually go through and really learn our system. We've had people do it in as few as 3 days, and they actually have come through, learned, gone through the full program, and are starting to take leads and sell and make money in a very short period of time. But again, we've got others that, based on personal circumstances, take their own time, and that's the way the program is designed. So it's got great content, and again, the beauty of this is there's no additional cost for the entire program being available to you, and literally have hundreds of classes that are available. Well, as I said, one of the things that you certainly want to do when you're doing your research is to do a little espionage around the agencies that are affiliated, and I still would suggest you do that, but we did want to give a couple of testimonials here from a few of our independent agencies who have joined us. Diane's been with us for quite a while, and you can see on her quote here is what sets Avoya Travel apart from other host agencies is their technology, their leadership and innovation, their stellar reputation, the quality of their live leads, their marketing. Everything is just amazing. Avoya Travel is just way above anything else I could ever consider. And again, Diane has been a successful affiliate owner of an affiliated agency with us for a number of years. And again, it's just, well, you can see what she has to say. There's no sense to elaborating on that. And then I'll show you the next one. And David and Cindy Locke actually were our #1 agency last year in 2014, and as they say, well, we make more money every year with Avoya Live Leads program than we could ever make if we were spending our own time and money looking for clients. And I think that's the real key to our operation, is that so many times, you look at, well, gosh, I sold this and I made X amount of dollars on this. But when you really sit down and go through the numbers as to how much time and energy you had to get to create the number of leads that you needed to create to get to the one who actually bought from you, the amount of time and money that is spent in our industry today trying to compete against large players like ourselves and like other large internet players and other major retail chains, and to spend the time to get attention and try to get the consumer to pay attention to you there, and then to compete from a pricing perspective, from an offer perspective. There is no difference really in our business than any other business in terms of how retailing works. And we know the consumer is looking for a deal, whether they're a luxury client all the way down to mass market or contemporary. They're looking for a deal. They're looking for something exclusive that makes them feel good. And that's the beauty that you get with Avoya Travel, is the ability to take advantage of our size and our scope in offering those kinds of offers and programs to your customers. And to do so without having to worry about, how do I design the offer, how do I put the offer together, how do I get it out to the marketplace, who's going to really listen to it, is the right people. All of those aspects are taken care of by us, so that really on your side, you're answering the phone or you're taking a web lead based on what you know best, on certain products that you know best, that you've specialized in, and then focusing on getting those sold. And again, by doing that, makes a huge, huge opportunity. Well, let's talk for a minute about then what is the difference here, and how do we differentiate ourselves in the numbers game. Because when you look at host agencies, and when I talk to a lot of agencies, one of the first things they'll always ask, and maybe the first thing that you kind of have on your list, is, well, let's find out what the split is. What's the commission split? Now, I say amongst all other host agencies, that's a great question to start with, because in many ways, the other programs they might offer are going to sound fairly similar. Educational programs, community, etc. But in our program, again, it's a very different scenario because of the fact that we are actually spending the millions of dollars and all the time and full-time employees doing nothing but marketing on your behalf. The reality is that our split is significantly different. But it's not about the split. It's actually really about how much money do you put into the bank account every week. And we are one of the only host agencies who actually pays by electronic deposit every single week. And again, so there's not a major delay. Once we get the commission from the supplier, it's going to come to you that week. And again, we're very consistent on that. We pay consistently all the time. Our independent affiliates love that. But it really isn't about what the split, it's about the dollars. You could make 100%, but again, if your phone only rings once a week or twice a week, you could make 100% and still not make near the kind of money that if you have a flow of leads available to you and you begin to close on those that's available with Avoya Travel. So again, the average productivity of our independent affiliates is significantly above the industry average. As I mentioned, we have over 750 of our independent affiliates. We are going to be significantly over $300 million in sales this year, and again continue to grow at a great pace. And so again, if the quick math will show you that there are certainly larger host agencies in terms of the number of affiliated agencies, but in terms of their productivity per agency, not even close. And again, that's why we're looking for serious agents who really want to be productive and want to sell. And so we also have an exclusive Avoya Instant Commission program. This is again the only one that exists in the industry, and that is that we have an ability for you to get your commission after deposit if you would like to. Completely optional, up to you. But if again, certain parameters and restrictions apply, and there is a small fee, but you have the ability of getting your commission up front, because as we know in this business, it's all about cash flow. Sometimes if you're ending up booking all of your business into 2016, let's say, you could have phenomenal sales. You could be selling $100,000, $150,000 in a month, but not make a dime for 9 months or 10 months. That's very hard on the cash flow. So the beauty, again, of our system is you have an ability to actually get that as a prepaid commission. Of course, again, there are restrictions that apply, and certainly you're responsible for those dollars, again, if there's a cancellation. But at the end of the day, it allows you to really run your business and have an option to run your business that doesn't exist in the rest of the industry. Well, as I talked about in the commission split, and everybody, again, certainly wants to know what the answers are on this, and so I'll show you here on the chart that our commission split is certainly different, but the nice part is that it's consistent. It's consistent across all of the independent agencies within our system, and that there are really only 2 types of commission splits that exist within Avoya Travel. And the first is if it's your customer, in other words, you created the customer, it's on your database today, or you end up speaking at the Rotary Club tomorrow and or next year, or whatever the case is, and these folks come to you because of things that you've done in your neighborhood, then any of those bookings that are booked through Avoya Travel and take advantage of the highest commission levels in the industry. As I mentioned, we're really one of the largest, if not the largest, producer of most of the major cruise lines across the world, as well as tour operators and resort chains. So our commission levels are at the highest level, and you would retain 80% of that business that comes from a customer that you generate. And again, we retain 20% to cover that support level and the technology that we provide. However, if we do all the marketing and provide you a lead on a brand that you are an expert in and that you've chosen to specialize in, then you're going to retain 30% of that high commission, and we'll retain 70%. Now, a lot of people will look at that and go, wow, how do I survive on 30%? That just doesn't seem like it's enough to really make it in the business. But again, you have to look at it from the standpoint of maybe it's a 3-to-1 ratio, right? So if you had your own customers, you're running around spending your time and your money trying to get a customer in, and you book that one, you would basically need to book 3 from Avoya, but you didn't have to spend any of that time, any of that money in trying to create the leads and trying to determine if somebody was interested or not in what you had to offer. And so what we have found, we have a lot of agencies who have joined us thinking, well, I think I'll do most of my business myself, and then I'll take the occasional Avoya lead, just to kind of fill in a little bit because, look, I can make so much more money based on the split of my own customers. But what we find is, in a very short period of time, most of our most successful agencies end up taking 90 to 100% of their business being Avoya customers, because again, it's not the split, it's the amount of money you can make that you put into your bank account every week. And that's exactly what happens when you begin to focus on these leads that will come to you based on your specialty. And again, assuming that you are good at sales and a good travel agent, again, the opportunity is huge and allows you to make a maximum amount of income. So again, I'll come back to the question of, is Avoya the best fit for you? And that really is the ultimate question here of, are we the right fit? And again, I think As I mentioned, we're not for everyone, but what we are looking for are those who really want to make a significant income in this industry, who want a great opportunity, and want to focus on what they do best, which is the selling and building relationships with customers and being a fabulous travel agent, which I'm sure each of you are. So what we're looking for is that entrepreneurial spirit. We're looking for agencies that have integrity and professionalism and looking to really build their business. And, of course, just to reiterate the fact that it is still your business. You're affiliating with us as an independent contractor. We call them independent agencies. And how, when, and where you do business is completely up to you. And you can make all of the decisions in terms of whether you decide to take live leads and use live leads, and all of those choices are completely up to you all the time. But the difference is that you have opportunities with Avoya that simply just don't exist anywhere else in the industry today. There might be a couple other entities that say, oh, yes, we have leads, but again, they don't have the lead distribution network that we have. We have a patent pending program that means that the leads are distributed on a productivity basis. And so, again, there's a lot of advantages that we have, and why we have the reputation we have with so many of our suppliers is because of what we do around this live leads program. Well, let's talk about the cost to affiliate here, and then I'm going to open it up for questions for all of you. The regular cost for affiliation is $495. That's usually a one-time fee that you pay at the time that, again, gets you access into our new Avoya University, takes you through an extraordinary amount of educational opportunities, and, again, that's $495. However, it is currently being offered, and for everyone on this call, and let me make an aside here, I'm certainly thankful to Joni and Tom Ogg for offering their ebook, and I think information will be coming up on that, on how to take advantage of getting their book online, and again, great ideas and concepts available from them, and certainly I want to thank them for offering that to all of you, and hopefully you all will take advantage of that. But in addition to that great offer, again, there's another great offer, and that is that it's $195 at this point is the regular initial cost that it will be charged for anyone who's on the call. So great opportunity to get in to Avoya Travel at a very reasonable fee. There are also monthly fees of $49 a month. However, we waive those with $1,000 of gross commissions in a month. Not your split, not the split portion, but just gross commissions. So again, our belief is that if you're fairly serious in this business, and again, this is where you really want to grow your business, then $1,000 in gross commissions is not a significant amount of sales. And so with that, we will, and it doesn't make any difference if it's personal clients or Avoya customers, we'll waive the $49. So again, as I mentioned, our goal is not to collect fees. We are not a fee-based model. That's why we don't have a take everybody approach to the business and just hope that a few productive ones shine through. We're really looking for folks who are going to be productive. If after a number of months you're paying the $49 a month, we'll part ways, because again, we're not interested in collecting your money, and we're not interested in someone not again fulfilling what they were hoping to fulfill from our relationship too. So again, it's an opportunity to be in the program without cost if you're doing that $1,000 gross commissions a month. So with that, I'll turn it back to Sandy. And Sandy, I'm assuming you're going to feed me some questions here?
I will, and I also want to let our agents know that the link is coming up for the ebook that Tom and Joni Ogg are offering. Their book is 365 Marketing Strategies for Travel Agents. And if you look in the chat window on the right side of your screen, that link is up there now. And you can copy it and write it down, and then go to that site to download their wonderful ebook. And again, please remember that the book will be available just for 48 hours from the end of this webinar. So write it down and do act quickly. Scott, we do have some questions. Some of these things are things that you've mentioned and that our agents want you to go over. Is there a minimum sales required monthly?
Absolutely not. So, as I mentioned, there is an ability to get your fee waived at $1,000 in gross commissions a month, but that is simply an opportunity to get that fee waived. But there is no requirement or quota or anything else in reference to the amount of sales that you do on a monthly basis or yearly basis.
Okay, fantastic. What hours is Avoya open to agents who need help? Is it a regular, is it 9 to 5 that they can call in, or when can they call you for help with what they need?
That's a great question, and as I mentioned, we have a very large support staff. It's not quite 24/7, but it's pretty darn close. We've got support people that are, I think, available from about either 5 or 6 in the morning East Coast time all the way until about 10 o'clock at night West Coast time. So it's not quite 24/7, but we have folks available, support available. We have a very sophisticated support technology that actually is a support request system that's built into our agent powered technology so that, again, you can quickly get support on an electronic basis. And but of course, we also have it available by phone, and that support again covers everything from our technology, of course, as far as supplier relations, a lot of other issues also. And so we're here to support you. Again, for the most part, we're going to be available. As I say, not quite 24/7. We've got support people available on Saturdays and Sundays. Again, our goal is to be available when you're available.
Okay, excellent. If an agent already has a website, how does that interface with what Avoya is offering?
So great question, and remember, your agency and the agency that you have can certainly still exist and will still exist, and it simply would affiliate with Avoya Travel. We wouldn't really have any impact or change upon your site. However, one of the benefits that Avoya Travel provides is a free website that you will now have that is in some ways a carbon copy of Avoya.com. And so it provides all of the robust content and the search capabilities and all of the other data and information that you'd find on Avoya.com today. But it is personalized to you and your agency, and there'll be an About Me page, which again will be filled in by you, and it gives your background, your bio, information about your agency, some testimonials. All of that is built by you, and then your phone number would be on that website. So we provide that separate website. It wouldn't be linked to your other website, again, because Avoya is the brand that would be used here. That it would just be a different website. You'll have to decide, again, at what point you would refer customers to one website versus the other. But again, it just comes down to what your choice is in terms of the amount of time, effort, and money you want to spend on developing your own website or any of your own marketing programs, when again there are leads waiting in your specialty as we speak. So, again, you can spend a lot of time, money, and effort on, and I always go back to the days, this is probably 10 years ago or so, when at that point the silver bullet was building a website, and there seems to always be this desire in the travel community that, well, somewhere I'm going to find the silver bullet, that if I just did this one thing, then the phones will ring off the hook. I'll make so much money I won't know what to do with it. And there was a time that was they'll build a website and they will come. And the truth is that very few people actually ever got their investment back when they were spending $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 building these big, beautiful websites. But again, what happens, and this happens across all retail entities, is you have the real big guys that eventually start to control the marketplace. And that's the truth in our business, just like it is in most other businesses. And so again, it becomes very difficult to compete in that arena. And so, and then of course it moved to social media. Oh, well, if you just do this, this, and this, and Facebook and the other places, then you'll make $1 zillion in travel. Well, again, we've learned that while there are a few who maybe have found success there, the vast majority are not, again, making the phone ring enough or getting enough opportunity out of those opportunities too, because the amount of time it takes. Again, all marketing is not just about money and investing money. It's also about the amount of time that it takes for you to, again, plan on these things and go out and get the exposure. And the beauty of the Live Leads program is that time now becomes selling time for you.
Fantastic. We are getting quite a few questions about your Live Leads program, so I'm going to ask a few of those. Do you have an idea of what percentage of the leads actually end up in a sale?
So that varies so dramatically by brand, and I'll say by time of the year, and there's a number of things that change on that. What I can say is that, even in our network, there's a very large differentiation based on the skill set of the independent affiliate. So again, we're going to have some people that have 5 times the closing rate, and there's no difference in the leads that our affiliates get, and this might answer a couple of the upcoming questions here, so I'll go ahead and talk about how those leads are distributed, because again, that's always a question that comes up. And but one point I'll make to the question you asked me is that there are no lead differentiations. In other words, a lead that comes in on a cruise line, and let's just use Celebrity Cruise Line as an example here. A lead that comes in a Celebrity is a lead that comes in on Celebrity. There's no ranking of the lead. There is no certain quality of the lead to say, oh, this one's better than that one. There's no way for us to know, even though we go through a process that is, again, part of the patent pending, that weeds out a tremendous number of the, let's say the 15-year-old kid who needs their brochure because of a book report, or kids playing around a computer, whatever it is, or people who just never respond. We go through a process to weed those out so that we're giving you the best quality leads possible. However, obviously 100% of them are not going to close, and even 50% of them aren't going to close. Problem, of course, we all know is we don't know which one is which. So the opportunity and offer is to everyone in our system on an equal basis to be able to adjust that closing rate based on their skill set. And of course, that's a combination between their expertise in that product and their sales techniques. And of course, we spend a tremendous amount of our time and energy here providing education on how to be a better salesperson on those leads. But so the closing rate can be very high for some of our best in the business. And by the way, when I say they're the best, that they offer up their best practices. There's not a lot of secrets in our business because again, it's not competitive. And so as I launch into how the leads are distributed, what I mean by not competitive is that when a lead comes in, it is offered out in the following way. It is offered, first of all, and it will only be claimed by one independent agency. So there's not a bid scenario here. You don't pay any extra additional money for the leads. There's no again, charge for the leads. What happens is that it is distributed out, and once that lead has been claimed, then it is only going to be under or attached to, I should say, that particular independent agency. So there's not going to be competition within Avoya for that one lead. But how it is distributed is one of the things that, again, it's the patent pending part of our program that is so unique, and again, why we have such a unique model in the industry that is so supported by our suppliers, is the fact that when a lead does come in, again, I'll use Celebrity as an example, the first thing our system does is it looks for all of those agencies who have specialized in Celebrity. So obviously, for both of us and for the consumer's benefit, we'd like somebody who knows that particular product. So it then will go to the system and say, okay, all of these folks are Celebrity specialists. Then it'll look at who's available. So if the call came in at 2 in the afternoon, obviously there's lots. If it comes in at 2 o'clock in the morning, there may be a few less, but it's going to find out who's available. Then it's going to be distributed based on the best opportunity for Avoya Travel to get that business sold. And what I mean by that is there is an algorithm that we use which basically says that, okay, of all of the Celebrity experts who are online at that point, this particular independent agency has the best opportunity to close that sale. Now, that's going to be based on a number of things, not just their closing rate, but also what their repeat rate is, what the referral factor is, any customer service issues. All of those are taken into account in terms of distributing that lead. And then that'll be offered to that particular agency to take that lead. Well, now some of you might be thinking, well then, gosh, don't just the rich get richer? They get, the top guy in Celebrity gets all the leads and nobody else gets any. Well, there's two reasons that's not the case. The first reason is that person is offered a lead, they take the lead. Well, there's another lead that comes in right behind it. They're now busy. They're working that lead. They're talking to that person on the phone, whatever the case might be. So they're not able. So now it's going to roll down to the second person. And it continues to roll. And by the way, if it's on the phone, this is happening literally almost in quarters of seconds, because again, you can imagine on a phone, people are going to be very interested in getting their phone answered. So we need to do this in a very fast order of time. Now, if it's a web lead, it doesn't do it quite that quickly, but it's still very quickly that it's going to roll down. Now, it doesn't stop being available to the first person, but it just becomes more available down the list of specialists as time goes on. And the second reason that again, there's plenty of opportunity for new independent affiliates to come in with us and get plenty of leads, is that we are creating hundreds and thousands of leads on a regular basis. Again, as I mentioned, we're spending millions of dollars on this. And the reason that we are having this webinar and the reason that we are at the various shows and talking to folks is that we have more leads than we can handle, quite honestly. We still need more agencies to be able to come in and help us take care of the leads that we are generating. So many, and I will say we have some recognition programs that we have. We call them our Best of the Best and our President's Circle and our Chairman's Club. And Best of the Best is for agencies who produce over $1 million in a year. And then President's Circle is over $2 million in a year. And our Chairman's Club is over $3 million in a year. And we have a number of folks that have been in our Chairman's Club, and we had 2 or 3 of them this year that got in, and they were just over a year old. So they only joined shortly before the calendar year and did it in their first year. So again, huge opportunity for folks coming in, even if you are relatively new to Avoya.
Fantastic. Great answer. Thanks, Scott. One of our agents wants to know if you pay commissions on air.
We do not, and I think very few do. I think I mentioned who do we not, who we're probably not a great host for. If you are a corporate agency or really focused on selling air, we're probably not the right choice for you. Our business model is about 99% cruise, escorted tour, and resort travel. And certainly, again, we do FITs attached within that, but we are 100% leisure. Now, most all of our business is going to have an air component, but again, a lot of that is booked through suppliers today, or it's booked through other sources. But air is not something that we put a lot of emphasis on. We don't sell it directly on our site. And so if you are an air expert and really driving on the air side, again, we're probably not the best choice for you. And while we do have great relationships with a number of air consolidator companies who do pay either a commission or give you the opportunity for markup, and we have some of our agencies who do very well by using those companies, the consolidator companies. We have over 5 of them right now that again have great relationships with us, and so again, really good opportunities there. And we certainly do have agencies who may charge a fee for air, or again do a markup on the air that they book through consolidator. Air per se is not something that we drive nor have a real commission program on.
Okay, excellent. We have time for a couple of more questions. Is there a place where our agents can go to see preferred suppliers? And what happens if they want to book something outside of your preferred suppliers?
So great question, and the best place actually, it's not a specific list, but it'll give you a really good idea of at least the majority of all of our preferred suppliers, is just go to Avoya.com. So if you go to Avoya.com, you can kind of search around our site by cruise or by tour. You're going to see most of our preferred suppliers listed there. And so again, that's the best place you can go to get a good idea of our preferreds. We have over 70 preferred suppliers now, and again, we're pretty inclusive in terms of every major cruise line, most of the major tour operators, and of course we have a lot of niche players too, as I mentioned, air consolidators, other companies also. In terms of booking is that, again, when you book through your host, and this is, I'll say, probably true of any host, but the benefit of obviously a preferred supplier is that they are somewhat vetted by your host. They're a company that has a relationship with that host, and in almost all cases pays a significant commission advantage because they are preferred. However, if there's a situation where the client really wants to book something that is not on our preferred list, you certainly can book that. Obviously, again, there's all the precautions you have to take in reference to that. As many of you know, we just lost a river cruise operator that filed, I don't know if they filed for bankruptcy, but they certainly closed their doors and disappeared in the middle of the night. And, those things happen. So, of course, of any supplier that you use, especially one that maybe isn't really well known, you've got to use tremendous due diligence. But when you use any supplier that is in our industry, you can certainly book that, and again, book it through our IATA number that is available to our Avoya members. And again, you can book that and get your portion of the commission, even though, again, it will be probably at that lower commission level as they are not preferred.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to ask a couple of quick questions, and I want to urge all of our agents, if you have additional questions or if you have questions that haven't been answered, the Avoya Travel contact information was up before. Can we get your contact info slide back on? And I urge everybody to get in touch with Avoya Travel to ask the rest of your questions. And we'll have the contact info back up there in just a minute. There it is.
That's coming along, absolutely.
Okay. We see it. Scott, what happens if an agent has a great month of commissions followed by a month of little or no commissions? What happens as far as getting charged that fee?
So it is based on the monthly commission. So yes, that could happen where you have a huge month, 1 month, and maybe don't hit that $1,000. But again, hopefully our goal is that you're significantly above that $1,000 across the board. So even a bad month would be significantly more than that, and that certainly is the case with a good portion of our independent agencies. But it is done on a month-to-month basis. So there is certainly that chance that could happen in terms of when the bookings are made or when they're placed in there. So and it is based on the bookings that occur. So again, if you know you're not having a great month, then again there's an opportunity to certainly kind of turn it on towards the end of the month to make sure that you get enough commissions booked that you're going to be fine in terms of the fee. And we do have the contact up here too to learn more. That phone number will get you in touch with one of our talent scouts, and again, a lot more information on joinavoya.com. We've got some videos on there, other testimonials, a lot more information, and hopefully it'll answer a lot more of your questions there also.
Okay, excellent. And our last question, you mentioned there's a special price for joining for everybody that's signed in here. If an agent wants to go ahead and join, how do they get this special rate? Do they just mention that they were in on this webinar?
Exactly right. So just mention that they were on the webinar, and again, call this number that's on your screen and talk to one of our talent scouts. Let them know about the $195 rate, and they will certainly get that. And if they send in a web lead, again, when they do eventually talk to the talent scout, they can just let them know they're on the webinar, and we'll provide that rate.
Okay, fantastic. And our time is just about over. I want to thank our speaker today, Scott Koepp, Senior Vice President for Avoya Travel. Thanks so much, Scott.
Absolutely, my pleasure, and I want to wish everyone the very best, and we'll look forward to seeing you at some upcoming events down the road, and good luck in your hunt to find the ultimate host agency. Excellent,
and we also want to thank again Tom and Joni Ogg for providing the free book, 365 Marketing Ideas for Travel Agents. Very generous. And thank you to all of our agents for being with us today and for your patience when we had the technical difficulties at the beginning. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.